Okay, we are going to start this one by adding 1 to both sides. So we're actually going to -2 plus a 1 gives me a -1 equals cosine theta plus sine theta. Okay. And at this point, you're kind of like stuck with what do you do? What do you want to do? Ultimately, you have a simple cosine and a simple sine, and you're just adding them, and they equal a number, and you don't really have a lot of options. One option that you have is squaring both sides. So you get a +1 equals, and it's really important, guys, that you understand that this is cosine plus sine times cosine plus sine. You're going to FOIL that. It's not just, oh, it's going to be cosine squared and sine squared. Nope. It's got to be FOILed. So you get a cosine, squared theta plus a 2 sine theta cosine theta plus a cosine squared theta. Okay. I did not mean to write that. I meant to write, let me erase real quick, sorry. No, I guess not. There, yeah, there. Sorry, that last times last is sine squared. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. Cosine squared plus sine squared is 1. So this is really 1 equals a 1 plus 2 sine theta cosine theta. You can subtract 1 from both sides, so that basically goes away, and you get a 0 equals 2 sine theta cosine theta. You can divide by 2 if you would like. You can also change this over to, I think on the key, I actually changed it over and used a double angle formula, but because you have a product right here, so a factor times a factor, or an item times an item equals a 0, you can take those two items, set them equal to 0. So let me get myself a little bit more room. We'll do it that way so it's done differently than the way I did it on the key. So 0 equals 2 sine theta, or 0 equals just a plain old cosine theta. Of course, divide by 2 doesn't really matter, so 0 equals sine theta there. So where does 0 equal sine theta? 0 equals sine theta at 0 and pi, right? And then over here, cosine theta equals 0 at pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. Okay, now the problem is we squared it. Number one, A, you should always be checking your answers, but B, you definitely need to check because we squared in order to solve this. So when you check them, you are literally just going to put, like, take each one, this is 0, put it back into the, I know it's tough to see because I shrunk it, but into the original. So if we use 0, so cosine of 0 is a +1, sine of 0 is a 0. Does -1 plus 1 plus 0 equal -2? Well, no, it doesn't. So that doesn't actually work. So that one's gone. You do the same thing with all 4 of them. You find that 0 and pi over 2 don't work. Pi and 3 pi over 2 do work.